hot 24/7.
Another week, another studio update. Hey everyone, it's your favorite flowgrammer Max. And this week, I'm walking the streets of Barcelona, and literally right there, a little bit of Gaudi. I'm in Barcelona for a team offsite. Officially, the goal this week is to team build and strategize a global takeover. But between you and me, my personal mission is to ingratiate myself with my boss, Luis Guzman, let him know all the good work that we're doing here, and, hopefully get the budgets needed to take a bunch of flowgrammers to Greece, put internet in space, and all the other very important things no one knew they needed, but you definitely need this in your life. Trust me there. Luis also billed this as a sunny getaway in Barcelona, but let's see. It's 13 degrees and 50% chance of rain, brother, so what gives?
24/7.
As always, let's kick things off with some studio updates. This week, I was hard at work shipping the part 2 of the Building AI Agents tutorial series. That's live now on YouTube, so definitely go check that out. In that, I cover setting up AI tools for your AI agents. These are the new tools available to make it super easy to let your AI agents interact on your behalf with apps and services and get all the kind of context they need to do really powerful stuff and also create data in your systems. In that tutorial, I show you how to build a Gmail draft assistant. So it takes new emails that come in your inbox and writes a draft. Then one key focus of that video is how to set up guardrails, right? What that means in practical terms is how to make sure that your AI agent isn't deleting emails when it doesn't have any reason to, how to make sure that you're giving it the permissions to do exactly what it needs to get the task done and nothing more. You're just exposing yourself to potentially more risk, because I think there's a lot of people in this space that's saying AI technology is amazing, and it truly is amazing, but it's not perfect. No system is, and any engineer knows that. So as part of that series, I'm not sure what I should do next. Please do leave a comment. I could go deeper into prompting. We could focus more on structured output, perhaps. One sec, my girlfriend's calling me. Hello? So dobra, I'm on camera right now. And as I collect some ideas and inspiration for what you'd like to see in the Building AI Agent tutorial series next, I may put that project on pause because I'm doing all these use case interviews with people building all these really cool AI agents. So I kind of want to get my teeth stuck in and build some really cool agentic use case and publish that as a template, and then maybe get back to the series. And so Angel has been hard at work on releasing the first episode of his N8N at Scale webinar. So definitely go check that out. That's out now on our YouTube. Links to follow. But Angel's also been a bit under the weather the last week, so I hope you get better soon, mate. And he said he's going to pick up the MITRE ATT&CK AI assistant once he's back and ready. Next up, I had the pleasure of interviewing Alexandraspalato, an AI automation engineer based in Madrid. She walked me through a fascinating solution where she's created a voice AI receptionist that can handle restaurant bookings. Now, you'll see in a second, but this thing works. We were on a call together and she booked a restaurant appointment with a digital voice. She built it with VAPI and N8N, so check this out. Hey Alexandra, how's it going?
Hi, Max. Fine.
Really great to see you, and thank you so much for coming on the show. I appreciate it.
Thanks to you for inviting me.
Absolutely. Before we jump into your use case, would you mind introducing yourself for everyone?
I'm alexandraspalato. I'm originally a web developer. I'm in Madrid, Spain, but I'm French. And I love building stuff. I have a YouTube channel now. And the important for me is to build things, whether it's with code or no code. And so that's why I find N8N, because I can use code and no code and make my things more efficient. I've been a developer relation like you for 2 years, but now I work a lot in the AI space and AI automation space.
Very cool. Well, building is definitely speaking to my heart. I'm a builder at heart as well, a tinkerer. I have it on good authority that you're going to work for to show us today. Could you explain the use case at a high level and what inspired you to create it?
The use case, it's an AI vocal receptionist for restaurants. So I live in Madrid. Madrid is a city, I think, that has the most concentration of bar and restaurants in the world. I'm not sure, but it's quite amazing. And I love going out, etc. So when you call, you cannot have people on the phone and you cannot reserve your restaurant, etc. So I think it's a very useful use case, and that can be declined also to other industries. So I build the AI agent with VAPI. But this agent needs tools to check the availability of a table and then to reserve the table, and also I do it with Airtable, with real table management, because all the tutorials that I saw, they were using the Google Calendar, and that's not realistic for a restaurant because you don't have one table, one people. So I build that, and so we have 3 workflows in N8N that connect, that trigger by VAPI, by the conversation.
That sounds fantastic. So it sounds like you've got VAPI, it's handling sort of it's like a digital receptionist, right? Or something like that.
Yeah,
It's then parsing the human language into things like the date and whatnot. And then N is handling the interacting with Airtable, your source of truth, understanding if things are available, if not, and then interacting with VAPI to capture the correct information it needs to then like create a successful booking. Is that right?
exactly.
That sounds wildly powerful. Would you mind sharing your screen and showing us the use case?
Yes, it's not only the screen. I'm going to call the restaurant so we can
Oh,
reserve.
shall we book a reservation?
Yes, it's an
Let's do
Italian
it.
restaurant. So
Fantastic.
San Francisco, a bit far away for both of us.
Alexandra, where are we right now on your
Now here we are in VAPI. So do you prefer that I do the demo first or I explain first
Let's get the fun part.
what?
Let's book a restaurant reservation with AI, and then if you could walk us through how that happened. But I think everyone would love
Yes,
to
well,
see the
I'm going to
magic happen.
show how it works in Airtable first. Here, for example, we have tables. The one has two seats, etc. So we have a table management, a small one here, but it works. And then we have a table with reservations, and then we have is translated here to the table availability. So tomorrow we are on the 10th. So here I have made this unavailable, and I'm going to reserve here to see how the assistant reacts that he can handle the thing. Let's do it, and we will see here the reservation appear. So I'm going to call this restaurant.
Let's get us a table.
Buongiorno, this is Sophia from Little Italy. How can I assist you today? Hello, I would like to reserve a table, please. I'd be happy to help with that. May I have your name, please? Alexandra. Nice to meet you, Alexandra. How many people and at what time and day would you like to reserve a table? 6 people for tomorrow at 7 p.m. Give me a moment. It looks like we don't have availability at 7 p.m. tomorrow for 6 people, Alexandra. However, we do have tables available at 8:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. Do either of these times work for you? Yes, 8:30 p.m. It's perfect. Great choice, Alexandra. May I have your email to finalize the booking? Any special requests or dietary restrictions we should note? Alex@gmail.com. And we have a friend which is gluten allergic. Got it, Alexandra. Just to confirm, your email is alex@gmail.com, correct? Yes. Everything noted. Let me finalize your reservation. One moment, please. One moment. Perfecto. Your reservation is confirmed for 6 people at 8:30 p.m. tomorrow, Alexandra. We've noted the gluten allergy as well. If you need anything else, feel free to reach out. Have a wonderful day, and we look forward to seeing you at Little Italy. Thank you. Bye. And that's it. And now we are going this. This is going to become unavailable, and
Mhm.
it's
Wow.
falling every minute, but it's going to appear on the screen.
First off, Alexandra, I'm mind blown. So we have, with an AI agentic solution,
Yes.
booked a reservation. It handled parsing, I mean, the gluten allergy thing. Even you said it a little bit differently from how they transcribed it. It was still the correct concept. Would you mind showing us what happened under the hood to make this amazing solution happen?
Yes, of course. Okay, so this is the Airtable. By the way, Claude helped me to create that because it was quite a headache to think all this table management, the number of guests, and then imagine when you book, for example, at 7 p.m., you need to make the next 4 slots of 30 minutes unavailable because the dinner is about 2 hours. If we begin in VAPI, okay, so in VAPI, we build an assistant. We have a first message and a system prompt. When a guest asks for a reservation, use the check table availability to verify availability, okay? And then, if available, proceed to collect email and special request, then use reserve table. So this check table availability and reserve table are tools. Then we give it instruction to how to handle the call. By the way, I have a document where I have all the automation I do with everything to reproduce them. So I can share a link at the end of the video too.
Very cool.
Then here we choose the model. I try with the mini, but this morning I had an error, so I put the 40, but normally it should work with the mini. We also have a knowledge base, so all the information about the restaurant, the menu, etc. If people ask, it's taken from the knowledge base. I put the temperature to 0.7 to keep it creative, but not too crazy. And then these tools, then, okay, the transcriber is deep ground. The voice, I choose this one, Jessica. She sounds really well from 11 Labs. Here in the functions, this is where we have the tools. So the check table availability and reserve table. And for that, I go here in tools. And here in integration, this server URL is the one from NA10 because we are going to pass this to make a post request to NA10 to trigger all that.
Mhm.
Then we give a name to the tool and also the description. So that helps the agent to know when he needs to use this tool. And
Understood.
here in the function, we give some properties. So we want the date, the time, the guest. So this is a check table availability and the reserve table here. So this is another URL from the other workflow, okay, from the other webhook. And here, yes, we take the date, the name, the time, the email, the notes, and the guest, and the phone number, okay? So this is the check table availability workflow. If we go to executions, we can see it is this one, and we can see that he has run through here. And if we make it bigger, we can see the respond alternative times because the requested time was not available, okay?
Mhm.
So here in the hook, so it's important, yes, to using the respond to webhook node because we are going to send back the information, okay? And here we have all the information.
So it sounds like you're consuming this tool basically as if it were like an API endpoint. Is that right?
Yes, so it's a webhook. So we have a post here and we receive the data from VAPI, and then we make all the workflow. So first we have the tool. We see that the function it's check table availability. So we're good, and we go here. So here I parse the date with OpenAI to transform the natural language like tomorrow, next week, or Tuesday, in real dates. So I have a prompt here, okay, for that. As I say, I will share everything at the end. Then we have a lot of code. So I'm a developer, but I didn't write any code there. Claude writes everything for me. So as in Airtable, I put the 24-hour format, and in the US it's the 8 p.m., etc. Then I transform it here with code. This one, the last one here, availability on requested time was hard. And there is a lot of code, and I would not love to write it. So you have really to think what you have an input and what is the output, and try to prompt Claude to understand what you want. And this one, for example, was really hard because we have to check the 4 next slots to see the availability. Say, for example, you reserve at 7 p.m., but it has to be available until 9 p.m. So 4 slot of 30 minutes. It was failing because if it's the end of the day, there is not 4 slots, there is only 2 because
Uh,
it closed at 9. So then I realized, I have to ask it the non-unavailable slots instead of being available. And then he understood because I tried the model Z, the 01 preview, etc., and he was doing it wrong. So you have really, a just valid time to include times where there are not explicit unavailability in the next 4 slots. So it's really thinking what you want as output and all the parameters and asking Claude how to do it. And Claude knows very well in A10. So he knows it very well here. So we parse the date, we parse the time. Here we get the number of guests. Here we write code again to get the suitable tables for a given number of guests, because if we have 2 guests, we can put them in a table of 2, of 3, etc. So he checked that again with code. Again, this one is simple, no, but all by Claude. Then when we have that, we filter where we get all the available slots in Airtables, and we filter them by date, availability, and suitable tables. And here too, this is a filter for Airtable. I didn't know at all the Airtables filters, but so here
okay,
we
so Claude came up with the Airtable filter syntax for you there. Is that right?
Yes, I saw that, and I asked Claude again, okay, I have to do that. And so Claude wrote it, but I didn't write the code. So it's doable for anybody that can take the time to really think about it. Here we have the tables that are available at this time for this number of, out of this day and this number of guests. But then we are going to check the time after that. And here we check
if the requested time is available on these slots and propose alternative times in the same period, dinner or lunch. So we get the requested times, the available slots, when the lunch end, when the dinner end, if it's lunch period or dinner. If the result is not available for the requested time, but we have these alternative times. We have a if here. So if the time is available, we go here. And so this is the structure we need to send back to VAPI. Result, we get the tool call ID. This comes from the hook for the first call, and we return, okay, if it's available, true or false. Here it's false. So here we have been to this route. So here result is the alternative times, which are 8:30 p.m. and 9 p.m. And so we send that back to VAPI, and she answer, oh, it's not available, but we have a table at 30 or at 9 p.m.
That's fantastic. And my first takeaway here is how, like, right tool for the job. And so what I mean by that is, VAPI is handling human language via voice. Very fuzzy, lots of ambiguity, and it's able to turn that into specific data. But then in your workflow, you're using a little bit of AI to conform that even more to have very predictable inputs. But
Mhm.
then you're using non AI steps to do the predictable business logic. Some of this, the availability requested time, that is business logic. It doesn't make sense to run that through a large language model, take 10x the power and time to calculate that versus having a code node that you can inspect and say, great, this will deterministically run that way every single time. And this is, I think, a great example how you're like picking the right tool for the job and not just using AI on every single problem. And I think I see a lot of people in this space just applying AI arbitrarily, but you've
That's
shown
bad.
here
Bad
how to
because
use it correctly.
as much as we can stay deterministic and have the right result for sure, it's better as much as we can drive the data to AI and just need AI for its power and when we really need it.
It's also probably going to be a lot cheaper if you're running this in production, right?
Yes.
So it's now determined whether the slot is available or not. What happens next?
Next, she come back and said, okay, this slot is available. Do you want to take it? Yes. If there is no slot available, we have not seen this case, she will propose another day. Do you want to another day? So if the customer say, oh, yes, I want to go for Thursday, then she will do the cycle again and check everything. But if the customer wants to reserve this slot, then she will call, well, it will call the reserve table function. So here again, we have the webhook. So if we go to the execution, it runs here. So here we
Makes
can
sense.
see that the function that is called is reserve table, okay, for tomorrow. With my name, it take all the information, get guest with gluten allergy, guest 6, etc. So let's see then how it works. So here I edit the fields to get, all this data, to extract all this data from the call. And then this is the same, the suitable tables, the parse date, the formatted date, it's almost the same things, parse time. And here in Airtable, I record the reservation. So I use create or update the reservation table and I map all that to make my reservation. And after that, we have another workflow that doesn't interact with VAPI, but that updates the table availability table in the restaurant base. So this is the Airtable trigger that is triggered when there is changes in the reservation table. So we have seen that we have made a reservation. We get the data from the reservation table here, from the changes. This is the reservation we have done. Then we edit the fields, the start time, table 5, the date, and the reservation ID. Then here we create the additional records because we reserve at 8:30 p.m., but we need to cover 2 hours. But at the end of the day, don't take reservation after 9 p.m. We have the reservation, the start time, the table ID, the date. We generate 4 time slots.
Alexandra, first off, thanks so much for walking us through the details on this. I think it's wild. There's some complexity here, but there's two tools: a utility flow, an Airtable, then VAPI, but how it's relatively simple for the immense utility that's being offered by this. So I'm curious, what would you like to add next to this use case?
This use case, if I do it for a real restaurant, for example, there is many things that we can do. We can use perhaps database like Supabase or something like that, more robust to a bigger restaurant, etc. Build front end graphic user interface. I'm a front end developer, so I can make something really nice. We can even show where the table are placed and all that. We could take the payment methods to set up a no-show fee if people don't come.
It really sounds like from my side, this is like a weekend, couple hack days away from being like a micro SaaS that's launched that restaurants are clicking the buy button for and setting it up and using it for handling dozens of hours potentially a week of work. So Alexandra, again, super impressive stuff. Thanks so much for showing off the use case. And I'm curious, why did you choose N8N when you were building this out?
Because I'm a developer and everybody was with Make, etc. I try Make and I cannot have code there. And so it's very limited. So I discover N8N and it checks the boxes because I can have code. There is AI agents that are really cool too. And I'm going to make videos about that and to dive more into that. Also, it's self-hosted, so it can be almost free if you self-hosted it. So that's really cool. So yes, it's flexible, it's open source. The vibe is very modern. I love the design, I told you.
Thank you kindly. That's music to our ears, as you can imagine. Alexandra, I just want to say thank you so much for your time, for your inspiration on this use case. I've seen a lot of folks doing the whole VAPI and N8N thing. I think I got to go play around with this now. So once your template's out, I'm very excited to check that out. And you mentioned that you're going to make this public. Where can people follow you and see this use case in future builds that you do?
So on YouTube, I'm posting every week. So I'm preparing a new video which is about getting ideas from YouTube comments to make other videos and things like that. I'm on LinkedIn too. I have, well, everything is on YouTube and LinkedIn. I have to build my agency websites and many things. I'm building a SaaS too. I'm doing 100 things.
A busy
So
builder.
I love building.
That sounds very familiar. Yeah.
That's the thing. Whatever the tools,
Fantastic.
yes, I love building things.
Well, wherever you're watching this video, go ahead and follow Alexandra, following her awesome journey, because I think you're building some really inspiring use cases. I think also for our more technical folks, I think the nice thing about N8N is, some people could have used less code nodes, some people more. I wouldn't say there's a right or wrong way with that, right? You can go a more low code approach if you're more comfortable that. You can go a more no code approach. Or you come from a coding background, you're more comfortable working with syntax. I think there's nothing wrong with syntax. It can be a very efficient way to execute and express yourself. So thank you so much again for showing it. And I can't wait to have you back on the show again. So looking forward to having you back soon.
Thank you.
Bye.
I'm hot 24/7.
Thanks so much, Alexandra. That was wild, wasn't it? Definitely go check out her channel, show her some love. She's also publishing the things she builds publicly, so you can download it, duplicate it, freak it, tweak it, and learn from it. Since I'm in Barcelona, that's all for this week. But next week should be a super interesting one because we've got lots of updates from the N8N team, lots of cool features. There's some exciting things happening in the code node and a lot of functionality actually around N8N running more efficiently, at scale, under load. But yeah, so I'll have some updates on that, some more interviews, and a sneak peek at what's happening next in the projects I'll be building. I'm looking for inspiration. I'm planning Q1. I want to do a lot of different builds and interviews and that sort of thing. What do you want to see more of? Drop a comment, let me know, and happy programming, everyone. We'll catch you next week.